Good morning. We are starting with unit number 6, inter-process communication. In this topic, we are going to learn process synchronization, the background about process synchronization, then the classical problems of synchronization, critical section problem, how to solve this critical section problem with hardware support as well as software support, and various solutions for it. And then we'll move towards deadlock and deadlock prevention and avoidance. So let's start with process synchronization. I just shared a presentation PPT with you. Mail might you might have got the link, or I'll share this link on chat box in chat box. What I want is there are two text box with A and B. I want two volunteers. For example, say Lavanya and Brishti. In box 1, this is a PPT that I shared with you. There are two boxes. You can see A box and B box. I want Brishti should edit this A box. And Gargi, whatever the Brishti writes in A box, you have to write in B box. And at the same time, wait a minute. So Brishti is going to modify A box, and whatever the contents of A box, Gargi has to write in box B. And at the same time, Amruta and Swati, Amruta, you have to modify A box, and Swati, you have to modify B box. Whatever the contents of A box, you have to write in B box. You can write any number or any character, a single character or a single number. So first pair is Brishti and Gargi. Brishti, you change the character, and all the things should happen at the same time.
Okay, ma'am. So, what do I write exactly?
You
Like,
have to change the character, means change the value. Instead of A, B, you can write a number or any character. And the same character, Gargi, whatever the character you see in that box, you have to type in B box. And Amruta and Swati, you have to change those characters also.
ma'am,
Yes.
after Prishti writes, I have to edit, or while she's writing at that time only, I have to modify that text.
Whatever the character you see in that box, you have to type in another box. And
So,
Brishti and Amruta parallelly modify that character from A box.
yes, ma'am, I'm Amruta. So, I have to modify simultaneously with Prishti,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, simultaneously with Brishti.
Okay. Ma'am, how many characters do I write?
That's okay. You can stop. See, concurrency is parallelly executing processes. So at the same time, if two persons try to change that character, there is an inconsistency. Either you can get the character written by Brishti or written by Amruta, not both at the same time, right? So concurrent access to the shared data may result in data inconsistency. Maintaining data consistency, our job, our operating system job is to allow execution of parallel processes, but there should not be any inconsistency. So to maintain this data consistency, there is need of some mechanism to ensure orderly execution of cooperating processes. So these parallelly executing processes we called as cooperating processes if there is some orderly execution, if they are executing parallelly but there is some synchronization, some communication, some order maintained between them, right? This is a simple problem that we have tried to solve. Simple a C program. You know these commands. Get char will accept a character from user in this box. Box means a variable ch in. Then this ch in I'm storing in another variable called ch out, and put char will display that character. Simple function echo what if I type A, it will display A. If I type B, it will display B, right? Now assume that two parallel processes executing this part of code simultaneously. This is a program and which is getting executed simultaneously. Get char in ch in variable, ch in variable stored in ch out variable, and we are printing ch out variable here, not ch in. We have to display ch out variable. So suppose P1 and P2 executing parallelly. Now the sequence of execution is delayed somehow. See, process P1 first reading a character. Suppose P1 entered character A. P1 entered character A in IN. If variables are same, ch in and ch out. We just have two variables, ch in and ch out. Now process A entered variable A in ch in, and there is some task that process is waiting for, and at the same time process P2 entered into this code and executing this line ch in get char. It is executing the same line sorry, it should be ch in dot is equal to get char. So process B entered character B, suppose P2 entered character B. Now it will override this character because ch in is a character variable, it can hold only one character at a time. So instead of A, now it is B. Then process ch out is storing ch in, and here also ch out is storing ch in. So what is the value in ch out? Is it A or B?
B.
B. And when this command executes put char ch out, what it will print, A or B? It will
B.
print B because ch out is contained now B. So this is inconsistency for process P1. P1 entered A and output is getting B. Whereas for P2, it is entered B and getting output B. We have to avoid this problem. This problem is called critical section problem or synchronization problem. Problem is clear? Parallelly executing processes, if they are sharing some data or code, they should maintain some sequence or there should be some synchronization. Otherwise, such type of consistency problem can arise. And to solve this problem, we have to find out the solution. So this is called consistency problem, or inter-process communication should be there, and we'll try to find out these solutions. Problem is clear? Okay, let's define this problem. So we assume that there are n processes all competing to use some shared data. So in this case, shared data is ch in and ch out variables. These two processes are using those variables, same variables. There is no replica like instance variable in case of objects. Same variable many processes are using. It is not only variable, some shared data. Data can be a file, data can be a memory, data can be any resource like a printer or scanner, but multiple processes at a time want to access that particular resource, each process has code segment. Each process has code segment which is called critical section, in which the shared data is accessed. So in this case, ch in and ch out, these two variables which are shared between processes P1 and P2. So you can call that that part of the code is critical section. So problem is, what is the problem? We have to ensure that only one process is executing in a critical section. No other process is allowed to execute in a critical section. So just understand what is critical section means. So we have shared data or shared code. So you can assume that it's like a box, critical section. So it's a part of code. Your program is there and some part of the code is shared by multiple processes at a time. So this part of a code, we can call it as a critical section. In this case, ch in and ch out, these variables are a part of critical section. And we want only one process at a time should enter, execute critical section and leave critical section. Only one process should be allowed in a critical section, right? So for any process Pi, there are n processes. I will vary from 0 to n minus 1. So for any process, there is a structure like this. Entry section, then critical section, exit section, and then remainder section. And it will continue. So in this figure, what I can show you is, I have drawn this figure upside down. So this is entry section, then execute, then exit, and then remaining section. For example, for a code, this is our main program. This is ch in and ch out. So this part is a critical section. So there is entry, exit, and remaining part. Entry section where we entered into critical section, exit section, and then remaining part. So for any process which is competing for this resource, shared, whatever shared things we have to keep in critical section, because we want shared things should be used by only one process at a time. So that part of the code is called critical section. So entry, then critical section, exit section, and remainder section. So we have to find out the solution for critical section problem. First is mutual exclusion. Mutual exclusion means no sharing. Processes are not sharing anything. Whatever they are having its mutual exclusion. If process Pi is executing in a critical section, no other process can execute in their critical section. Only process is not sharing critical section with any other process. It is mutually exclusively allocated for that process Pi. Are you getting? Once you are allocated to one place, you are not going to share that place with any other student. That is mutual exclusion. Once process has entered into that critical section, it will leave the critical section by its own. It won't share critical section with any other process. So this is the first rule, or this is the first condition which need to be fulfilled by solution. If you are finding a critical section solution, you have to take care of mutual exclusion. Only one process at a time should be there in a critical section. Next is progress. Progress means if critical section is free, if no process is executing in a critical section, then there exist some processes that wish to enter into the critical section. Then selection of the processes that will enter the critical section next cannot be postponed indefinitely. That means we have, so this is a door, and suppose there are processes P1, P2, P3 waiting outside, want to enter into the critical section. If you allow P1 to enter, so P1 will enter into the critical section and close this door. It will execute and come out. And now process has come out, door is open, and P2 and P3 want to enter into the critical section. So either P2 or P3 should be allowed to enter into the critical section. They should not wait indefinitely. If critical section is free and the processes are waiting outside to enter into the critical section, the processes should be allowed to enter into the critical section. They should not wait indefinitely. And third is bounded waiting. A time bound, here we are talking about time bound, must exist on a number of times that other processes are allowed to enter a critical section after process has made request to enter a critical section before that request is granted. Means suppose P2 want to enter into the critical section, but P1 and P3 are entering and exiting critical section number of times, but they are not giving chance for P2. P2 is waiting indefinitely. So a bound must exist on number of times that other processes are allowed to enter their critical sections after a process has made request to enter the critical section and before that request is granted. So P2 has made a request, I want to enter, but there is a race between P1 and P3. They are entering and exiting and they are giving each other a chance, but P2 is not getting a chance to enter. So this should not happen. Assume that each process execute at non-zero speed. So no assumption concerning relative speed of n processes. So you cannot assume that this process will finish in this time and then only you allow this process. So like LRU or shortage of first, we cannot assume some whatever the time required for execution of P1 or P2 or P3. So these three conditions must be met while designing any critical section problem. First is mutual exclusion, means no sharing. Second is progress. If critical section is free and processes are waiting outside the critical section, then processes are allowed to enter without waiting. You cannot postpone it indefinitely. And third condition is bounded waiting. That waiting outside the critical section should be bounded. The process should not be starved to enter into the critical section. Once it has made a request, it should be allowed in finite time, bounded waiting. Conditions are clear. So we have seen a problem. What is a problem? Problem is there is some shared data or shared code and multiple processes are executing that part of code simultaneously and which may result into inconsistency. And to avoid such inconsistency, what we'll do, we want to solve this critical section problem. We keep this code in a part, that part of a code is called critical section, and we have to ensure these three conditions should be met as a solution. First one is mutual exclusion. We have to ensure that only one process at a time should enter into the critical section. There should be a progress and there should be bounded waiting. Then we'll see attempts to solve this problem. So initial attempts were with only two processes, P0 and P1. So we have only two processes, P0 and P1. How you ensure that only one process at a time will enter into the critical section? There are only two processes and one shared resource. So processes share some common variable to synchronize their action. So we can use one flag. Suppose this door means a flag. So suppose this is a flag. Flag is 0 means door is open. Initially flag is 0, that is door is open. So suppose P0 will enter into the critical section and it will change this value of flag to 1. Now flag 1 means door is closed. So P1, if P0 is there, P1 will not able to enter because flag is 1. So P1 will wait when P0 completes its task and P0 opens this door and come out. Then it will change this flag to 0 and P1 can enter, right? So this synchronization can be done with some common variable to synchronize their action. So suppose that common variable is flag. 0 means door is closed, door is open. 1 means door is closed. And two processes at a time which arrive first will check door is open, enter and change the value of flag. And while opening or while at the reminder section, when it completes the task, it will come out and change the value to 0. So P1 can enter. So is it set? Will it satisfy these three conditions: mutual exclusion, bounded waiting, and progress? Is this a perfect solution? We have entry section. That means flag is set to 0, means door is open. Then when you process enter into the critical section, it will close that door, means make flag 1. So when another process arrived, P1, that door is closed. So P1 should wait till P0 opens that door again or change the flag to 0 again. Exit section, when P0 exit from the critical section, it will make that flag 0 again. So now P1 is waiting for this flag to get 0 or door should get open and P1 can enter. So will it provide the solution for our critical section problem? Mutual exclusion is possible here.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, bounded waiting may not always happen because even though the flag is set to 1 while it is inside, while one process is inside, but
Mm.
like it may stay there for an indefinite amount of time. So,
Correct. So this is called busy waiting. For example, assume that uh, busy waiting means this process has to always check if it can enter into the critical section. P1 is always need to look for this flag. Whenever P0 completes the task, then flag becomes 0 and then P1 can enter. So it should be always busy while looking for that flag. To enter, the process cannot do any productive task until it gets permission to enter into the critical section. So P1 has to wait. It is not sleeping. It is not uh, waiting. It has to wait for this flag. This is the problem with first attempt. There is a mutual exclusion, but assume that if there are more than one processes arrived, if P2 also arrived, and now door is open, so who will enter first, P1 or P2? So this solution will work only with two processes. Mutual exclusion can be uh, allowed, means when P1 is inside, P1 is not allowed to enter because of this flag. Mutual exclusion is the first condition is met. About second condition, progress. If P0 is failed to came out, if it has aborted or if it just stopped in between and it has closed the door and it is not responding, so this process has to get indefinitely again. We cannot forcefully remove process P0 from critical section. So this will create a problem with progress as well as bounded waiting. It is always busy waiting. So this is the algorithm. If you want, they have used a variable turn. This is a binary variable. It takes two values, 0 or 1. Here we have taken flag. Flag means turn. Turn 0, that means turn is of process P0. Flag is 0 means we have used turn variable. If turn is equal to 0, means P0 can enter. And turn is 1 means P1 can enter. So if turn of ith process, then P of I can enter into the critical section. So note that this part is common to all the processes, while turn is not equal to I. Suppose P0 and P1 arrived at the same time. Again, look at the problem in this matter. Turn is equal to 0 and P0 and P1 arrived at the same time. So for P1, I value is 1 and P of I means turn is not equal to I. Turn is 0, which is not equal to P1. So what P1 will do, if turn is not equal to I, no op. No op means it has to wait. No operation. So P1 will wait. P1 will go into the wait state. And for P0, turn is equal to I, so it won't go into the wait state, it will enter into the critical section, and while entering into the critical section, it will change the turn to J. J means next, whatever the value is. So P0 entered into the critical section and turn is 1. And then reminder section. While leaving the critical section, actually it performs the work. P0 entered into the critical section, and while leaving critical section, it will change, make the turn 1. So P1 can enter. It satisfies mutual exclusion, but no progress. This is the problem with first solution. Are you getting this code? This is entry part, this is critical section, and this is reminder section. Like this. Entry, critical section, exit section, and reminder section. So while entering, turn variable or any common variable, shared variable is kept as for synchronization. Turn of I means that PI process can enter. Now, will it work for more than one processes, P1, P2, P3, P4? Because I can take any value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. It allows mutual exclusion, but no progress. Now we'll see second attempt. First attempt is clear. You can imagine that shared variable as a door, and door is open or closed. Now second attempt is, each process can examine the other status but cannot alter it. Means whether that process want to enter or not. For example, in first case, in this case, if there are 3 processes, just a minute. If there are 3 processes, P1, P0, P1, P2, they want to enter. So turn is 0, so P0 can enter. P0 completes its execution and leave the critical section and change turn to 1. But P1 didn't want to enter. P1 is doing some other task, but P2 want to enter. But P2 cannot enter because now turn is of P1. So that's why there is no progress. Are you getting why progress condition is not met? P1, now turn is for P1, but P2 want to enter and P1 is doing some task or are you getting? If P1 is busy or waiting for some other task and P2 want to enter, P2 cannot enter, P2 is not allowed to enter. So this is contradicting the second condition, which is progress. So we'll see solution number 2. Solution is every process can give a status whether it want to enter into the critical section or not, and other processes can just able to see that status but cannot alter it. Means you can raise a hand that I want to enter, other processes can see that those hands are raised but not able to alter that status. When a process want to enter the critical section, it checks the other process first. If no other process is in a critical section and it sets its status for the critical section, this method does not guarantee mutual exclusion. Each process can check flags and then proceed to enter the critical section at the same time. First, we'll see what is the solution. For example, processes with turn, they will keep one more flag whether they want to enter into the critical section or not. So when one process want to enter a critical section, it should check other processes. If any other process want to enter, then don't raise a hand because the processes are already in a queue, they want to enter. If no other process in a critical section, and it sets its status for critical section. So if critical section is free, that process can say that I want to enter into the critical section. But this will not guarantee mutual exclusion because at the same time, here you can see critical section is free. So we'll keep 2 variables, turn and flag. So P0 and P1 want to enter into the critical section. First P0 will check it has its turn. Turn is P0, and no other processes has raised their hand or the flag is also not set. So P0 can enter because it is the turn of P0, as well as they are not working with a flag. Sorry. For this case, only flag is set. Flag means it will check whether any other process want to enter into the critical section. If flag is 0, means this is flag 0 for both the processes. Now P0 will check critical section is free and raise its flag that I want to enter into the critical section. And first it will check if no other process want to enter, then P0 can enter. And suppose the problem is if critical section is free and at the same time P0 and P1 raise their flags. So by a rule, both the processes should be allowed to enter into the critical section, but it is not allowed because of mutual exclusion, right? So this is the second solution. Each process can examine the other status but cannot alter. Process can check the status whether they want to enter into the critical section or not. When a process want to enter critical section, it checks the other process first. So currently P0 want to enter, and it will check whether P1 want to enter. No, P1 has not raised the hand yet. So if no other process is in a critical section, it sets the status for the critical section. So it will set the status, I want to enter into the critical section. But assume that at the same time P1 was not initially wanted to enter, but at the same time when P0 is raising the hand or setting the flag, P1 also want to enter into the critical section. So this will does not guarantee mutual exclusion. Here the critical section is free and two processes at the same time want to enter. So each process can check the flags and then proceed to enter a critical section at the same time. And this will cause a problem to our first condition. So now third attempt is, can these two flag and turn combined for each other? So here third attempt is set a flag to enter a critical section before check other processes. So without checking whether next process want to enter or not, first just raise your flag. Raise your flag, and then if another process is in a critical section when flag is set, the process is blocked until other process release the critical section. So in second attempt, they are not checking the status of other processes. They are just raising their hands and then check whether the process want to enter. First, they are checking whether any other process want to enter. If no other process want to enter, then they are raising the flags. But in third attempt, they are not checking what is the status of other process. They are first raising the flag and then will check whether the critical section is free or not. If the critical section is blocked, if any process is in a critical section, then this process has to wait till critical section gets free. So if another process is in a critical section, when the flag is set, the process is blocked. That means it has to wait until other process release critical section will come out of the critical section. So here deadlock is possible when two processes set their flag to enter into the critical section. Now each process must wait for other process to release the critical section. So it will create a deadlock. For example, P1 and P2, P0 and P2 at a time raise their flags, and P1 will think that P0 will think that P1 is in a critical section, and P1 will think that P0 is in a critical section, and both are waiting for each other to release the critical section, and currently which is free. So this is not the not solving the problem of progress as well as bounded waiting. This is the third attempt. Is there a confusion between second and third attempt? Are you clear?
Ma'am, can you once again explain the difference between second and third?
Okay. First is clear. First, we have one variable turn, and whose turn is that process will be allowed to enter. but if turn is of one process, but that does not want to enter, and other process want to enter without its turn, it is not allowed. So the second condition, which is progress, will not meet, so that attempt is failed. That is our first attempt with turn variable. Then second attempt is with flag variable. Second attempt will check the status of the processes. First, suppose you want to enter into the queue, or you want to access something. First you'll check any other is willing to enter. So first you have to check whether any process has raised its flag. If no processes has raised their flags, then you can raise a flag and you can enter into the critical section. But the problem is, so here first what process will do first? It will first examine the other status. It cannot alter that status, but can check. If no one is willing to enter, you have to raise your flag and you can enter. So it will solve the problem of progress. Any process who is willing to enter and no other process is there in a critical section can enter into the critical section. So progress problem is solved, and there is no waiting, because whenever I want to enter, I can enter with raising my flag. But the problem is, if more than one process is initially there is no one is willing, and suddenly more than one processes want to enter into the critical section at a time, this will not guarantee mutual exclusion, because as per the algorithm, if critical section is free and the process whoever raised the flag first is allowed to enter, and if more than one processes raise their flags, they must be allowed to enter, and which is not meeting our first condition, mutual exclusion, and which also make the problem of waiting for other processes. Then the third solution is, don't look at the status of other process. Just raise your hand or raise your flag. Means set a flag to enter a critical section before check other processes. Means what I'll do, I want to enter, I'll raise my hand, and then I'll check. If anybody is raising their hand, then I have to wait, because somebody is there in a critical section already executing a process. So I will wait. If another process is in a critical section, when the flag is set, the process is blocked until other process release the critical section. So then I will wait till another process release the critical section. But the problem is, if when two processes set their flag, they are not checking for each other whether any other processes there want to enter or not. Both the processes raise their hands, want to enter into the critical section. Now each process must wait for other process to release a critical section, and there is a deadlock. No process can progress because they are waiting for each other. Are you getting now? In first case, first you have to check the status, and then you can set a flag if no other process is willing. In third condition, first you will raise your flag and then check whether the critical section free or it is occupied. But again, the problem is deadlock. This is the second algorithm, or you can say second or third. Here we are talking about again two processes, P0 and P1. Flag is to set a flag. 1 means hand up and 0 means hand down. That is, flag is set or flag is unset. Initially, flag of 0, flag of 1 is false. Means no process is willing to enter into the critical section. Flag of I, when it is true, then Pi is ready to enter into the critical section. So if flag of ith, flag is an array. If flag of 0 at 0th location is 1, that means P1 want to enter. So flag is an array. Initially it is 0, 0, 0 means false. This is for 0th process, this is for first process. If flag of I is 1, means P flag of 0 is 1, that means P0 want to enter. P0 raise it hand, I want to enter. Then for process PI, this code is common for process P0 and P1. First, it will, in entry section, first here it has to make a flag true. Means P0 want to enter, so P0 should say P0 want to enter into the critical section. First, it has to set this flag to 1. Okay. Then, while flag of J do no op, means if this flag is not set, P1 also enter. P1 also enter, and it will check flag of P0 is 1, so it will do no op. No op means wait, no operation. P0 will enter into the critical section, and while coming back, while after working with the critical section, and when it leaves the critical section, P0 will change this flag to 0. And when this flag is 0, and now the P1 will check no other flag is 1, so P1 can set this flag and enter into the critical section. If again P0 arrived, P0 will wait till P1 make this flag 0. Is it clear now? Flag and turn. So in second attempt, it has to check whether this flag is 0, another flag is 0, then only process can enter. In second attempt, it has to check other process status before entering into the critical section. And in third attempt, process will enter into the critical section or change the flag without checking the status of other process. For example, if P0 and P1 arrived at the same time, it will first change the flag without checking whether next flag is 1 or 0. Now both the processes flag is 1, so it will check whether any other process flag is 1. P0 check, okay, P1 flag is 1, so P1 is there in a critical section. And even P1 can think that P0's flag is 1, so P0 is in a critical section. And this process will not enter into the critical section unless and until any other flag is 0. So that will lead to a deadlock. So that is third attempt. Code is same, but instead of checking for this condition while flag do no op, it is allowed to change this flag to true. Next attempt is fourth attempt. A process sets its flag. That means raise the hand or set the value of flag to 1 or true, which indicates that it desires to enter into the critical section. So whenever I raise hand, means I want to enter into the critical section, or whenever the flag is set, that process is desired to enter into the critical section. But it is prepared to reset the flag. If other processes also want to enter into the critical section, that process can reset the flag. Other processes are checked. If they are in a critical section, the flag is reset and later set to indicate desire to enter a critical section. So process will first set its flag. This is repeated until the process can enter into the critical section. That means here process P0 is entered into the P0 and P1. This flag is set to 0 initially. Process P0 set its flag. Process P1 also set its flag. And process P0 checks whether the flag of P1 is set. Yes, it is set. So P0 can reset its flag. And P1 can enter, P1 can execute, P1 will leave and set this flag to 0. And then P0 again come and set its flag. So process can set and unset or reset its flag is allowed in fourth attempt. So process is when it set a flag, that means it is desired to enter into the critical section, but at the same time it is prepared to reset the flag. First it will set a flag, then it will check the status of other processes. If they are in a critical section, the flag is reset. Process can change the status of the flag to 0, and again it will come back and change the status to 1, that means wish to enter into the critical section, and this is repeated until the process can enter into the critical section. Problem with fourth attempt is again, if for each process to set their flag, check other processes and reset their flag, this scenario will last very long, as it is not a deadlock, but it is not undesirable. Every time they are raising hands, making their hands down. So this will continue for infinite number of times. So this will also not work if all the processes are setting and resetting their flags at the same time. Now what is the correct solution? So we have seen 4 attempts, and each attempt has some problem. They are meeting one condition, but problem with some other condition, or they are going into the deadlock or starvation part. The correct solution is each process get a turn at a critical section. Every process should allow to enter into the critical section. Then if process want to enter, it should set its flag and may have to wait for its turn. So we want to use these two variables, set turn as well as flag simultaneously. And if process has to first set a flag, that it has to clear its desire to enter into the critical section by raising a flag, and at the same time it has to wait for its turn. If it is not its turn, the process has to wait. So this is the solution. This is not algorithm 3, it is a correct solution. We'll see how this algorithm executes. So we are using two shared variables, flag and turn. So flag is an array. Those many number of processes, that will be the size of your array. Now here we are taking only two processes, P0 and P1. So this is flag array initialized to 0, 0. And this is turn. Turn is also some reset value. Now for process Pi, where we have two processes, P0 and P1. So suppose turn is P0 arrived. So first what it will do, first it will change the value of this flag to 1. So P0, so 0th value will be 1. That means P0 want to enter. Then it will check whose turn is it. If flag of J and turn of J is same, if it is not same, then it has to do no operation. If flag is set and flag of 0 is set and turn is also 0, then P0 can enter. Then P0 can enter into the critical section. Now suppose P1 arrived, P1 set its flag, but turn is of 0. So P1 has to wait till its turn. So there is no, we are allowing mutual exclusion. Only one process at a time can execute. When P0 complete its turn, P0 will make this flag 0. So it will change this flag to 0 and it will change the value of turn. Now when turn is 1 and flag of 1 is 1, then P1 is allowed. So if there are suppose more than one process, if second process is also there, is any query? So if we have second process and P2 want to enter and P0 didn't want to enter and turn is of P1. So what it will do? P2 has set its flag to 1. P2 want to enter, critical section is 3, but it is not the turn is not of process P2. So will it progress, or what should be the solution in our algorithm? Note that this algorithm will work only for 2 processes. It is not for 3 processes. So either turn is 0 or 1. So if process P0 didn't want to enter, it will do no op. And if P0 arrived, P0 can enter into the critical section. So this solution will meet all three requirements. It solves critical section problem, but for only two processes. Am I clear? Just check how it solves the problem for all two processes. In next lecture, we'll see how to solve problem for many processes. We'll stop here. Password is inter-process communication, IPC.